Aburu Aboye. Welcome to the Ifa Temple service for Okamaran Day Temple here in Miami, Florida. Today we gather to talk about an Orisha who walks with us all of the time. It never leaves our side, and whose blessing or neglect shapes every part of our existence. This Orisha is not Eshu, it's not Ogun, it's not Orumila. It is our Ori. Ifa teaches us that the first and most important deity to honor is our own Ori. Before we came into this world, Ori chose our destiny in Orum. And it is Ori who either clears or clouds our path as we journey through life. In this temple service today, I'm going to be discussing three major areas. And these are the things that I want you to think about as I go through these stories. One, why is Ori important? Number two, what happens when our Ori is out of sync? And number three, the power of aligning our character with our destiny. So let us go to our first Odu of the day. And this comes from the Odu of Otura Oyeku. And the question we're going to try to answer is, why is Ori important? Ashe. Orumila proclaims worshiping is nigh. I chorus that it is time to follow. Orumila said that as he was coming from Olufe's domain, he met a group of rats. They stood rigidly, then trotted, then burst into tears. Orumila asked them the cause of their weeping. They responded that they were weeping because of Torofini, the striped rat, that had been made their leader for all of them to serve. Orumila appealed to them not to weep anymore. He reprimanded them for the lack of wisdom and understanding. Those destined to be leaders are not as many as those destined to be followers. Those destined to be followers are not as many as those destined to be bystanders. Orumila says that Ori accompanies man to earth. When we wake up in the morning, let us hold on to and give reverence to our Ori. Man's Ori is man's deity. So, in this verse, Orumila reminds us that each person comes to earth with a different destiny, right? This destiny was chosen by our Ori. Now, the rats within this verse had cried about the striped rat being made their leader. But Orumila had taught them that not all folks, not all people can be leaders, right? With a leader, we then need to have followers. And even then, we need to have bystanders. Orumila teaches us that not everyone is meant to lead, and we should understand that that is not a punishment. It simply is a plan of our Ori that we chose in Orum. We need to understand that we have to respect the uniqueness of our individual Oris and stop comparing ourselves to others. If we are to succeed in our lives as practitioners of Ifa and Orisha, we must align ourselves with our own individual path and not someone else's. Let us move on to our second verse. This comes from the Odu of Ogbedi. Ogbedi. Teen Inrin Jigin Din. Teen Inrin Jigin. They were the Awo who cast Ifa for Orumila when lamenting that his Ori was not strong enough. They cast Ifa for Orumila when he was lamenting that his health was not sound. They cast Ifa for Orumila when he was lamenting that his life was not free of contention. They cast Ifa for Orumila when lamenting that he could not enjoy the fullness of his life. They cast Ifa for Orumila when lamenting that Ire he was expecting was not manifesting. He was advised to offer a bow. So here in this story of Obedi, we have Orunmila, who was going through some challenges in his life. He was troubled, right? Despite the wisdom that he had, despite his efforts, his life was full of challenges and problems. He was dealing with sickness, he was dealing with slander, he was dealing with financial hardship and emotional emptiness, right? He asked himself constantly, why am I suffering like this? We must remember Rumila is our prophet. He's the one that taught Ifa to the other Babalaos of his time. So he knew that he could not solve this issue himself, so he went to seek the advice of the two Awo that I had mentioned in the verse. The Awo had revealed to Orunmila that he did choose all ire of life when he chose his Ori, but things were not manifesting for him well during this time because his Ori had not been properly appeased. They told Orunmila, you must make a bow and feed your Ori. Orunmila heard the messages from the Awo. He gathered the items as quickly as he could to then make the sacrifice and then to feed his Ori. And what was interesting about Orunmila in this particular story is that things started to change for him very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. His health started to get stronger. His enemies started to disappear, move to the side. His peace of mind was now coming back and being restored. He began to enjoy his family, his home, and all Ire he had been waiting for started to troop into his life. Overwhelmed with joy, he danced and celebrated his Ori. Ashe. So let us now think about the lessons in this particular story. Even though Orunmila, which we consider the master of wisdom, suffered when he neglected his own Ori, this particular story teaches us that suffering is not always because of enemies or bad luck. It can be because we've forgotten to align our own head, right? Our Oris must be honored. You must hold your head, pray, and speak. Ask for the things that you want to accomplish. When it is time, make sure that you offer a bow to support your destiny, because you have to understand you came here to fulfill a path, right? We all did. We all came here to understand what direction we have to go in and what we need to do. And when our Ori is appeased, Ifa says no one can block our destinies, right? Consider that. If our Ori is appeased, that no one can block our destiny. So I ask, today is Oshe Ifa. Today is a wonderful day to appease your Ori. Have you done so yet? If not, do you plan to do so tonight? Consider that. Let us move on to our third Odu of the day. This is the Odu of Ogbe Ogunda. The bow is the bow of Odundun. The arrow is the arrow of Tete. Even if it is shot, the effect will always be mild. These were Ifa's declarations to Ori Nu, character. The same was also declared to Orio Day, destiny. Now, my character, please don't contradict my destiny. The message that we have here with this verse is this. It is not enough in our lives to be destined for greatness, right? Our Ori Nu, our character, must not contradict our Ori Ode, our outer destiny, the things that we came to accomplish. Many people within our practice around the world really are born to be successful, but at times they may fall short because of their character, because of their poor choices, because of their ego, or lack of discipline. When we find those challenges, is it important for us to pray for the support of the Orishas? We must hold our head, hold our Ori, and ask, my inner self, do not fight my destiny. Right? That should be a part of our prayer process. Let us walk with humility. Let us be patient for the purpose that we have chosen for ourselves, and let us be honest and walk with elevation. Right? That must sound familiar if you, especially if you have the book Omoluabi by Chief Popola. So bringing that all together, we have to understand that our Ori is not just a spiritual force. It is us. It is you. It is your destiny. It is your direction and your daily responsibility. If you forget to appease your Ori, you have the potential of forgetting to live your best life and follow your destiny. Consider that. I'll say it one more time. If we forget to appease our Ori, we have the potential to forget our purpose. Ifa shows us three things with the verses that I gave today. With the Odu of Otura Oyeku, Ifa teaches us that we must respect the role that Ori gives us. Two, in Ogbedi, Ifa reminds us to nurture, to take care and feed our Ori, or we may find suffering from time to time. And three, Ifa reminds us in the Odu of Ogbe Ogunda that not even a great destiny, Ifa reminds us in Ogbe Ogunda that a great destiny can be ruined by poor character. Those are things that we need to think about and things that we need to consider. So I ask you, and I'm talking to myself too, but I ask you all, when you wake up, will you speak to your Ori? Will you honor it with sacrifice, prayer, and obedience? Will your inner self support your outer purpose? Let us walk as people who know their path, who know their destiny, people who honor their path, and people who trust their path, because our Ori is Olotumare on earth. Let us consider that. Thank you for joining me today for today's messages. May our Ori bless us. May our Ori carry us far. May we walk with clarity, character, and courage. I hope you enjoyed today's message. I have just a couple of announcements before I go. We are going to be having our temple festival coming up on July 25th. I've coupled that along with my Ifa festival. My wife will be celebrating her Ifa festival, as well as a couple of other temple members who will be celebrating their festivals. We're coming together. Please reach out if you'd like to join us for this event. That would be amazing. We are also offering the Ebo of the Year for folks who are associated with our temple. We were directed to a very specific verse in that Odu that we have to offer. And so we're going to be doing that together on July 25th. And we're going to be posting times for events. We're also going to be serving lunch, serving food, coming together, going to be having a small song class. Those are things that we're going to be doing to celebrate that time together this time of year, celebrating Ifa, celebrating and supporting our own personal destinies, as well as the destiny for the temple. It's always a good time. If you have a hand of Ifa and you want to come and wash your Ifa and be a part of the process, please do. The donation for that day, in order to be a part of the Ebo and all of the process for the temple, it's going to be $60 per household. So please consider joining us. We have a nice big space. that we have for the day. So we look forward to hearing from you. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And finally, this coming Wednesday, I'm going to be having an ORI class. Those of you who are part of our Patreon, the Fa Temple Study Group, you'll get that announcement. And I'm going to go through the appeasement myself, and hopefully others can go through it along with us in order to get that practice in and appease our ORI so that we can continue to grow together. Ashe. May you have a wonderfully blessed week. Aburu aboye, aboshishe obuato.